Seeing as everybody asks about the layout, here's the I-trains running. There's a map of the track there, and I've just started the Class 800 off. We walk over to the layout, which I've just started now. It's a bit bright outside, so it's dark in here. You can see the 800 running with its lights on and sound. It runs around the back of the layout. The way I've designed this layout is any train that's a DMU type arrangement, engine at both ends, can run anti-clockwise or clockwise around the layout. However, anything that is a steam train or single-headed engine, in this case the wagons here, what they will do is reverse out right along the back of the layout on this third track, the third track you can see here. And the way I've designed that is it will then come round to here, right round to the back, and then it will pull through the layout on a clockwise rotation, through the layout, do whatever laps it needs to do, and then go back into the siding afterwards. So that's how we get the trains to run round when they're only got a single engine on them. You can see it running there. This is our I-Train's fully automated track route that I've built. And it will basically come into the station, wait for a few minutes, and then do another loop. It's not perfect, I mean it runs very well. What we find is, for example, this middle track here, this is a return loop here, but I've got a polarity changer in there to manage that. This section of track here isn't too clever at handling smaller engines, so the diesels are fine, but the steam trains, they tend to drop the front jockey wheels when they go around this. Incidentally, the signals all work, although that one's not on at the moment, which tells me that I will check that in a bit to make sure why that's not on, but that should be on. I did recable some of them recently, not recable, reprogram some of my trains. I may not have set them up. This one is working down here, and that's got my feeder light with the, I forget what you call that bit now, to handle the track there. There's a signal there. There is a signal here, which is currently working, which is for trains coming in this direction. And there is this one here, which I've just got to set back up on I-Trains and tell it that it's a valid signal. Here comes the train now. It all runs very well, runs very smoothly. There's some cows and some horses in the field, it's a bit of detail. The cars along the back, the N-gauge cars, they're not stuck down. They're just there for decoration. I've got a couple more in the box as well. I'll start another train off in a second. Let's go back to I-Trains here, and we'll start another one off. Let's do the 158, that's quite nice. As you can see, the 800 is just coming in. As soon as it's stopped on the layout, I will stop that from running to allow the 800 to 158. But you can run multiple trains at once. But what I tend to find is multiple trains, if they come out too close to each other, they'll end up blocking each other on the track, and then I-Trains can't figure it out, and the trains just sit there and you have to move one to control it. This is the 158. Had that for about a year or so. Also runs very nicely. You can get a bit sensitive on this set of points here. Sorry, it's been a while since I modelled this railway and I've forgotten what most of the terminology means. But here we are, it's running quite nicely. Let's put that down so we can see it running. Just going through the loop. It needs a bit of a dust by the looks of it. And we'll go around the back. And we'll come around here. And off it runs through there. The steam train's very similar. I think one of those has sound. One of the steam trains has sound. This doesn't have sound. One steam train has sound, which I think is the 5MT. It's one that I fitted myself. Full sound and lighting in the 800. Full sound at both ends in the Pullman, which means you get a staggered sound effect when it starts up really good. No lights in that. And one end of the Pullman, I had a problem with the buffer lights coming out of the front, so I wedged it in with blue tack and it all holds together quite nicely, just so there's no surprises there. There goes the 158 on its return loop. DCC, but no sound in the NHS one. So basically the ones with sound is one steam loco. I've got a 47 with sound on the floor as well. Class 800 Midland Pullman, and the 158 that's on its little lap now. Let's get this from the right angle, so we can get a groovy view. Now, when we look at the electronics of the board, the two sections of board, this is the fiddle yard. This is separated by 2 bolts under here, and the thing rests against the main board, 2 bolts in this corner bracket that is 3D printed. I have the command station on here, YD7001, which is an upgrade from the original DigiKeys version, and the DigiKeys went bankrupt. This is the board for the fiddle yard. You'll see there's a 12 volt DC socket, which powers the signal board to the right hand side. The left board is powered by the main circuit, and everything's split down red and black. I haven't labelled anything because I know where everything is, which is probably unfortunate for anyone who's buying it, because you then got to figure out what the wiring is. Now the board under the main unit does flip down. At the moment it's tilted up, but a similar arrangement there. I've got a 12 volt DC circuit. I've got all the point frogs for polarity changing. And at the back, you can just see the lights. Hanging at the back of the layout is a PC power supply with a 12 volt output. That 12 volt output powers both the point circuits and the signal circuits, if I recall. The rest of the Digitrack detection, the block detection that I've utilised, is done via just a normal DC power. I think I've got a booster in here for the second part. I need to check. I think I plugged in a separate booster. Oh no, I sold that booster. The 2 boards are joined together by 2 bolts under here. That can be taken away, so the 4 foot by 1 portion, the fiddle yard, can be taken away. Legs can be unbolted if you want to put flat. These apparently, if you remove one of the leg bolts here, they could be folded flat, but I think, to be honest, the circuit board in the middle would foul that. So that's to unbolt the legs and put them in the car carefully if you're transporting them. This power on the front here is to plug in. You can just about see it along underneath my railway here, is the speed track. And basically when you put a new car, a train into iTrains, you need to verify its accurate speed, and this shuttle runs the train backwards and forwards up to the maximum steps and down again to measure it. And it appears in iTrain as a separate piece of track. I don't think I've got it showing in iTrains at the minute, but that's for someone else to figure out. There's also a separate piece of track here for programming. And then down in the basement, when I dig it out, I've got another unit with 2 pieces of track that allows you to fully reprogram DCC modules and loading new sound files and that kind of thing. And so I was going to get into that side of the business. This main section is 5 by 3 foot 6, and I've got an office lamp on top to illuminate it. That's all included. The backboard does lift off. I've never lifted it off since I built the main layout itself and did all the decoration, so do that at your peril. There's some spare accessories and bits and pieces. For example, the Midland Pullman is connected by magnetic joins. I've got lots of spare ones down there and spare couplings and stuff. I've tried to slim down what I've got. A lot of waffle, I apologise for that. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Let me just take a step back so we've got an overall view of where it sits in my room. And let me put the lights on so we can see what we're doing. Why am I selling? No reason. It kept me very occupied through COVID. It was a childhood hobby that I always wanted, that I managed to scratch that itch as an adult. However, now I've got a family, young children. I want to clear this space in the corner, maybe have a little small table and chair here to relax while I'm having lunch at work, because I work from home. And I don't have to, whilst I love watching the trains, I don't have time to devote. And if I'm really, really honest, I get much more fun out of the electronics, building that, the board, the woodwork, everything, putting it together. I'm not a very good modeler of trains that actually likes to watch trains afterwards. I just prefer to build it. So there you go. Ping me if you've got any questions, and happy to answer them from there. Thank you.